Howdy, howdy, howdy. Crowdcaster here, and today everybody we have some official news about two new game modes announced for Honkai Star Rail. This article, provided by Hoyoverse, goes into more detail for what we can expect from Honkai Star Rail's gameplay and possibly even their plans for endgame content. What we have will be called the Simulated Universe and Fight Club game modes. Now, I'm not just going to read the article straight off. If you want more details, I'll leave a link in the description box below so you can read it as you like. But more so just to summarize it and give my initial thoughts and impressions. So let's go ahead and get started and figure out what these modes are about. The first mode is called the Simulated Universe, and in the mode, enemies and maps will be randomly generated for the player, progressing through the maps while earning what's called 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝘼𝙉𝘿 blessings to power your team up the further you go through the map. Okay, so immediately this sounds just like the roguelike elements Hoyoverse has teased for the game, and I'm glad we finally have more details as this was one of the big selling points of the game for me. Now, there are two modes to Simulated Universe. We have Exploration Mode and Challenge Mode. According to the article, players will have to first clear Exploration Mode with their preferred team and collect as many blessings as they can. Once cleared, they can then move on to Challenge Mode. With the same save file, players will have to take everything they've earned and take on more powerful enemies. Depending on how much HP these enemies lose will determine the player's final score to earn rewards. There will be a save and continue later functionality for Simulated Universe. You can stop the run, save, and pick it up later when you have more time to finish, or you can end the run prematurely and take out what rewards you may have earned at the time. This is a great feature, I can already tell. Obviously, I have no idea how long each run can take, but I can speak of my experience with other roguelike games where runs can get as long as like an hour plus, so it's good that Hoyoverse is taking people's time into consideration here. Apparently, the two main rewards from this mode are 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝘼𝙉𝘿 bonds and 𝙀𝙓𝙃 collector coins. Now, it's not noted what they will be exchanged for exactly, but it is mentioned that the coins will be exchanged for random rewards. In Simulated Universe, the exact enemies and maps will not be revealed. Only the main enemy weaknesses, so the best that we can do is build a team to counter what possible enemies that we may run into. During the run, we'll encounter branching paths that may help or hinder us, such as more challenging enemies or a rest area to heal the team. On top of 𝙀𝙓𝙃 blessings, there's a chance players can find 𝙀𝙃's intervention. These are active support abilities that can help the player during battle. Whereas blessings are probably passive abilities, the intervention will probably be more like an active summon that you can call in when you need it. Lastly, as mentioned earlier, there are safe rooms that we can run into. From here, we can purchase what the game calls curios that are described as items with various buffs. The main example offered is a Revive Fallen companion buff, so I think it would be fair to think of these curios as like your typical consumable items from other RPG games. Okay, so all in all, I'm really liking what's written here. Like I said before, I'm a huge fan of roguelike genre, so this mode honestly sounds like a lot of fun to me. But before we talk about my final thoughts on Simulated Universe, let's first risk breaking rule number 1 and talk about Fight Club, even though we're not supposed to talk about Fight Club. Fight Club is a challenge mode where players will build their team from a list of preset trial characters to compete for the highest score. Players' pre-existing characters and gear will have no effect in this mode, as virtually everyone will be using the exact same list of characters. The mode will have modifications such as character charging efficiency increased by 20% that will factor in deciding which characters to bring in from the list of provided trial characters. There are several tiers of one-time rewards depending on the player's final score, which are divided into the 4 difficulty levels. So you will choose which of the 4 levels to challenge, and then from there, depending on your final score, will determine what tier you made it into and then get the respective rewards. The gameplay of Fight Club is described as less trying to finish the fight as soon as possible and more so trying to complete as many bonus objectives before the fight is over to get the highest score you can. There are no examples of what these bonus objectives are, but they recommend tactics like changing the timing of your character's ultimate abilities, or switching between different targets so that way you don't focus down the one enemy at a time. That's all they have for Fight Club, not too much information compared to Simulated Universe, but it's more of a straightforward mode with probably not as much replayability. Okay, so overall, there was some really good information here, and I do feel like it's enough to be excited for the different gameplay modes we can see in Honkai Star Rail. Simulated Universe, I think, will be the biggest mode for endgame, as there is a ton of replayability with the roguelike elements. My only possible fear is that we're limited to how many times we can play it, be it a straightforward limited number of entries per week, or a limit to how much rewards we can get. Something that really slowed players down in Genshin Impact, for example, was the resin system. For anyone who didn't play Genshin Impact, there was a limit to how much content and rewards you could get each day or week, depending on that content or how much resin you had. If you've played other mobile games, this is actually pretty similar to your typical stamina system, where once you run out, you essentially can't play the game anymore. Honestly, I like the feeling of being able to play however much I want, when I want, but I understand slowing players down so they don't completely breeze through all of the content at once. Hopefully they'll be able to find the right balance this time around. As for Fight Club, I think it'll be a fine challenge, but the mentioning of it only having one-time rewards makes me think that this will be a weekly or a monthly challenge. Once you progress through as many tiers as you can, you're just gonna wait until the next set of challenges move through rotation. Not a bad mode by any means, but I don't feel like there'll be enough replayability from it. Unless they add some kind of leaderboard, in which case this might be as close as we get to a PvP mode, as there is no announcement of any kind to my knowledge if there will even be PvP in Honkai Star Rail. But everybody, that'll be it for me today. Thank you so very much for making it through to the end. I know that this was a lot of info to go over, but with Honkai Star Rail's second beta test just around the corner, I feel like this was information worth getting excited about, especially if you've already been looking forward to the full release. But please, if you haven't yet already, be sure to leave a like, subscribe for more Honkai Star Rail content, and please let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Which game mode are you more excited for? Do you think that these modes will be enough to satisfy endgame players? And did you get accepted into the second closed beta test? If not, don't give up hope yet. Hoyoverse is holding lots of different events to hand out more beta keys, so be sure to keep a lookout through the Hoyoverse's official channels. And a very big special thanks to all of you. Thanks to your guys' help, I was accepted into the Honkai Star Rail's official creator program, and as a result of that, I may be given the opportunity to help you guys get into the beta still, so please stay tuned for when I have more information for you. You can find out that info by following me on Twitter and following me on Twitch. All links are found in the description box below. May 25th is almost here, and Hoyoverse willing, I will do my best to live stream the Honkai Star Rail beta for you, so you can follow along as we all try to figure out what this wacky space baseball game is together. And if you don't get that reference, then I recommend you checking out my other video attempting to figuring out Honkai Star Rail's story with as little information as possible. But until next time, remember, you're tremendously amazing, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Take care.